How are my levels? I think they're okay. I'm driving, so there's probably quite a bit of background noise, but welcome to Love Uninterrupted. Every day you are being called to a different place by Holy Spirit. Your energy is needed in specific places. People are calling upon you, the energy that you carry, the gifts that have been endowed to you, the gifts that you have developed over your lives. They are being called to usage at this time, and they are being called to various places and spaces. And the message that I have received over the last few days have been to follow the impulse. Follow your impulses. You are receiving impulses to go certain places or to do certain things, to talk to certain people, to meet with certain people. And the reason that you are being called to do these things, to go these places, is because your energy, your spirit, the gifts that you carry within you are being utilized when you show up into these places. Now, you may be actively working, meaning you may be going to meet up with a client. You may be doing some sort of work that you feel is related to this calling. Maybe some spiritual work that you're doing. Maybe you are performing Reiki, or you have some other healing modality that you are using. But you may not be doing that. You may be simply going to a place, minding your business. Maybe you're going to Target, and for some reason you're going to a Target that isn't in the area that you would typically shop. Maybe you're going to get a cup of coffee, but the coffee shop that you are going to is not one that you would typically go to. Maybe you're just going to get something to eat. You pop up at a pizza shop or anywhere. You're being called to these places. You are being led to these places. The people that we meet are not random occurrences. The places that we go are not random occurrences. We are constantly being led. Every single one of us. The person that you meet today by happenstance, that person was led to meet you, and you were led to meet them. It could be a one-time occurrence. You all never meet again. You never speak again. Well, that was the reason that you all met, because you were supposed to see them and they are to see you. There is an exchange that is happening with all of us at all times, because that is the way that we are all perpetuating the reality that we are living in. We're constantly in a state of creation. We are creating our lives. We are creating the scenarios that we find ourselves in. We are creating our successes. We are creating our lows. We are creating all of it. And the Holy Spirit is really calling us to begin to see our role in our lives, to see our role in the creation, to see our role in the creation of what is right now. If we look around in our world, we look around in our lives, we see things that we absolutely enjoy, that we're in love with, that we feel bliss being around, and we also see things that hurt us to the core. And all of those things are things that we have all created collectively. There is not one of us who has created it and another who can say, oh, I didn't do that. No, we're all collectively creating this. And Spirit is calling us to look at our creations, our own individual creations, meaning our life creation, your life, but also the creation of the collective, what we are all agreeing to. Spirit is always leading you, has always led you, and will continue to lead you. We all have free will. That is a fact. That is a real law, if you will, universal law, that we have our own free will to do what we like. in every choice that we make, however, Spirit is still guiding us. Maybe we made a choice and we feel like that choice was not beneficial for us because the outcome was XYZ. Well, even in that moment when you are looking at that situation, you are so in it. You are in the middle of it. You are in the middle of the storm of whatever the situation is that was created by you. Spirit is still there with you, guiding you to the next step that's going to move you out of that situation, move you into a different state of mind, to allow you to see this scenario through a different set of eyes with a different perspective. Spirit is always, there is not a time that Spirit, Holy Spirit, God, whatever you call the force that is activating us all. And there's so many terms, so many names for this powerful, intentional, creative force. And I'm not here to add a name or to dispute a name. I am simply here as a conduit to be an example, really, simply to be myself, to stand in my truth, to try in the best way that I can to verbalize what God of all gods is doing here on this planet right now at this time. And in my explaining, there's a lot of times where I have heard myself and I can feel myself saying, oh, this is something that's always been here. And it has. The presence of God has always been here. Therefore, as long as humans and any other living thing has existed, because it is that presence that activates everything. But now, the time that we are living in right now is so unique because more and more people are opening their eyes, waking up, if you will, remembering, acknowledging, accepting, witnessing, living that truth. And when one person does that, it allows other people to do it freely. And then that activates another person. And then another person gets activated. And so what we are seeing and what we are experiencing is, awakening is the word that's coming to my mind. But I don't even feel like that's a word that can truly capture. I'm not even really sure what words to gather in order to describe what we are witnessing in this time and place. Last night I was talking with someone and he made a comment that consciousness, existence, life, it happens in cycles. It just, there's nothing new under the sun. And of course I've heard that many times. And I accept that as truth. I feel within myself that there is validity to that statement. And as I say that, then it begins my mind to go off on a path. Well, there must then be record of a time in the history of time and existence where there has been an awakening of this sort that has happened, that we can, even if we don't have a book, our spirits hold the information. We all hold the information of time. What has happened over time. We all hold that in our DNA. We hold that in our blood. We are not disconnected from the very first human that ever existed. So whatever has happened within that stream of time, we have access to it. And we don't need a book in order to get that, to access it. We can go within ourselves. We can question that creative, masculine, feminine, creative power, force that is within us, that lies within us. We can inquire of that one, or of that part of us, that is us, and we will receive an answer. In saying that, I feel like I'm going to now begin seeing information that either solidifies or what I'm saying, or something that is going to reveal that this time that we're living in is a new time, a time that we have not experienced before. I don't know. I am a person that has always been very curious. I want to know things. I'm open to know things. I open myself up to spirit, to receive information. Great awakening is what a great awakening is, where we are. A return to a time. Trusting your guidance. Trust yourself. Every single one of us has an inner voice. All right. You may hear voices in your head, and when I say that, I want to be very careful as I say these words, because they can be misconstrued. All of us, every single human being, hears voices, if you will. What I mean by that is that all of us have been nurtured by family, our environment, and other influences that we have listened to, that we have adopted certain beliefs, certain ideologies, etc. And so those voices are in our heads, meaning you can be influenced by someone who had an influence on you at a very young age, or a time when you were very vulnerable. Those voices are still in you. Right? They're in your consciousness. As I mentioned earlier, when spirit guides you to certain places and you're introduced to people, you meet people, each of us are dropping seeds in each other. And that has always been. Children drop seeds into parents. Parents drop seeds into children. It is a mutual energetic exchange that is happening at all times. So as you are moving about through your life, some of the voices, some of the seeds that have been dropped into your mind will resurface. You will, better said, because the seed was dropped, could have been dropped years ago, but you will still use that voice, that influence, guidance. You will still use that as your guidance, as your point of reference as you move through your life making decisions, because you respected the person, you loved the person, you felt like they had your best interest. And I am in no way saying that whomever dropped seeds into you did not have your best interest. But what I am saying is that you also have your own inner voice. That inner voice is the voice of the God that is within you, who is always leading you and guiding you. But depending on how the voices who nurtured you as you grew into yourself, depending on how those voices led you, whether they were leading you in a sense of controlling you, or leading you, showing you that you have your own guidance system, you may still be continuing to use those voices as your guidance versus using your own inner voice, who is always guiding you specifically. The guidance that you got from the people around you, any other guidance, whether they be family, friends, mentors, spiritual leaders, etc., the guidance that you got from those individuals was not wrong. It was guidance that they learned themselves, and because of most likely the benefit that they saw from that guidance, that they wanted to share it with you. They wanted to pass it on. So it wasn't bad guidance, but the guidance that you have within you, the guidance that still voice that is within you is impeccable guidance. It is never wrong. It's never wrong. It is always leading you forward. Now, when I say wrong, what I mean is it's never leading you down a path that is not for your highest good and best benefit. Because that guidance has the foresight to know. Another human being outside of your body does not have that type of foresight for you. They have this foresight for themselves, but they don't have it for you. Now, as I'm saying these words, knowing that I am going to release this out into the public because I was guided to record this, I want to say at this point in time, all of the words that are coming out of my mouth are not to tell you that you should be doing X, Y, Z. It is simply to let you know that you listening are the best person to guide you. I cannot do it. There's no one else on any platform, no matter what level they have reached financially, professionally, relationship-wise, career-wise, spiritually. They can tell you their story, which is what I'm doing. I'm only expressing things that I have lived and experienced. That's the only way that I can relay this information to you. There's no way that I would be able to say these words without having lived this. When we listen to our own inner guidance, it leads us in the most profound ways. It leads us in ways that are for not only the highest good of ourselves, but for the highest good of everyone else who's around us. Now, the people that are around you may not see that in the moment, but if they are able to tap into their own guidance, then they would be in tune, they would be in alignment, there would be little conflict. Life is beautiful, and everything in it is beautiful as well. Beauty is in all things. The things that we find impossible to bear, and the things that we want to just revel in. If you are still listening to my voice and you have reached this portion of the video, you're extremely unique. And I say that at the end of every recording, but I'm not saying that like as a tagline. I'm saying it because you are. There's something that is extremely unique about you. There's something about you that sets you apart from everybody else. Not just the fact that you look different, or you dress different, or no, there's something internally and very deep within you that is different about your makeup. And Spirit is telling me to acknowledge it and inviting you, if you don't see it, to begin opening up your eyes, opening up your heart to see it for yourself. I do absolutely nothing to promote or market this content. So count yourself as a cool ass person, because you are. You're cool as Or I want to say you're cool AF, okay? I don't want to curse on here like that. But you're cool AF. And I'm really thankful that you're here, that you have found my channel, that you are receiving any value from the information that you are hearing when you get here. So with that said, I hope to talk to you next time.